Hey, what's up YouTube? Donovan the Smartphone Guy coming back at you with another video, and tonight we're going to take a look at the LG G6, and I want to share with you some tips and tricks when dealing with the shortcuts that LG has baked into their UI. So first of all, I just want to say that a lot of these tips and tricks have to do with the display because, as you know, LG in this new LG G6 introduced a new aspect ratio, and that is the 18:9 aspect ratio. So a lot of the tips and tricks we're going to talk about have to do with that aspect ratio. So we're going to go ahead and jump into the display first of all. So we got here. And first thing I want to talk about is app scaling, because that's going to be one that you are going to want to probably utilize, especially if you're watching videos often. So app scaling, what this does is it changes the aspect ratio of your app, whatever it might be. So the one that you probably want to take advantage of would be videos. So if you are watching, like, for instance, well, Disney Junior, I have that one on there for my kids, but that would be one, you know, like for the kids, if they're going to watch it on here. But the one I obviously like to use is Netflix, also with games like NBA Jam or whatever. So you can see already that I changed the aspect ratio on Netflix so that it covers the entire screen. Now it's going to stretch the video out just a little bit, but it does make it look a whole lot better. Not so you won't have those great big black bars. Now the one that is obviously missing is, come down here, come down here. Oh, you're watching this on YouTube? Well, if you're watching it on the G6, you're going to have some black bars because you can see that it is not available. So as of right now, there's no way to change the app scaling on YouTube, but you can get it on Netflix and Hulu and things like that. So that's the first tip and trick. You want to go into app scaling and change the aspect ratio. So next thing I want to talk about is the always on display. So if you have your phone off and you want to get some notifications, we can have, let's go ahead and turn it off. And if you turn that always on display, you can get your notifications right up here. Now, it's not like the Moto where you can like look at those, so I'd actually double tapped there. But it does have at least it tells you what kind of notification you're getting. So that's a nice trick to have, or a nice feature to have in there. So we're going to go back into our settings again. So that was in the display. So again, if you want that always on, we're going to go into, whoops, went too far. There it is. All right, so there's display, and scroll all the way to the bottom, and we have our always on display. So I'm going to go ahead and turn that back off because that does reduce your battery life that you get on the phone. We do always, I mentioned also that we have that knock on, so there's going to turn it on and off. So with that knock on, if I just double tap, there it is. So it's going to turn the screen on, but it's only going to take you to your lock screen. Obviously, because it's not going to bypass your security. We do also have the home touch buttons, so I want to jump into those as well. So let's take a look at home touch buttons right there. So this is also, again, under display. So what this does is it allows us to change the button combination in the shortcuts. So one that you may want, because this is such a long phone, one that you might want, because in order to pull down that notification shade, if you're using the stock launcher, it doesn't give you the option to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and throw in that notification shade down there. So come back here, and what that does is it allows me to just pull down my notification shade without having to go way up to the top, because on the stock launcher you don't have that option just to swipe down. I'm using Nova Launcher, so it does have that, but if I go in here to the stock launcher, so I'm actually going to change that real quick just so you guys can see that. So let's go into the home screen. I'm going to change my home option just so you guys can see. So here's the option to get it if you want the app drawer. So if I'm going to have the stock launcher, see, so if I pull down right now, notice I'm not getting that notification shade. But if I hit here, I can get my notification shade. So there we go. All right, but if I pull down like I did with Nova Launcher, it's not going to come down. So I have to reach way up here to pull that down. Or I can put that shortcut key in and have it come down like that. So that's another thing that you may want to consider adding on. I personally, I'm going to stick with Nova Launcher just because I don't personally like the stock launcher that LG has, but that's just me. For my full review, I will have that on there, but, for now, while I'm using it, I'm just going to, let's see if we can get that back into focus here. All right, there we go. Okay, so we're going to go back into our home option, and I'm going to switch it back to Nova Launcher real quick. All right, so there we go. All right, so the next thing I want to talk about is the shortcut, or we actually just did the shortcut keys. The next thing I want to talk about actually is and I'm going to get rid of that shortcut key there in just a second, but let's go back into the home option, and I'm going to show you how to use the multi-app. So I actually don't have enough apps open, so let's open up a few apps here. So let's open up Facebook, go home, open up Gmail, go home, and let's go into YouTube and then go home. All right, so now, so I'm on offline right now, but so if I want to get that dual window view so I can have two things at once, so notice I purposely picked apps that I knew had that dual option, so I can go up here, that little window, and that gives me the option of using this up here. So here's Facebook, so if I need Facebook and then I want a second app like maybe YouTube, come in here and scroll around in YouTube as well. So again, I'm offline, I'm using airplane mode so I don't get a bunch of stuff popping up while we're doing this video, but that is how you use that multi-window. So we can get rid of it by hitting there, clear all, and we can get rid of it that way. So you can see here that's still there, so I'll hit home and get rid of it that way. Alright, so the next thing I want to talk about is the smart settings. So if I go in, we're going to pull down that notification shade again, go into our smart settings, or go into our settings first of all, and I'm going to take a look at smart settings. So this is an option that you have if you, what it does is it allows you to have certain options of things that will automatically happen when you do certain things. So if you're at home, it will have an automatic profile that's set up so that when you're home, and it'll jump right into your Wi-Fi, it'll change your sound profile, your Bluetooth, it'll do all kinds of automatic options here. So we can change our sound profile, our Bluetooth, so it can automatically connect to like an Alexa or whatever, and also jump right into the Wi-Fi immediately when we get home. Same thing if we are away from home, so like if you're in the office, you can set it up for your office so that when it recognizes you're in your office, you can do the same thing. And then we have what to do when earphones are plugged in. So personally, I have it so that it opens up Google Play Music as soon as I plug in earphones. So that's another option that you have. And then when you have certain Bluetooth devices connected, you can also select what apps are going to jump in. So for me personally, like obviously, if I have a Bluetooth device connected, I probably want Google Play Music. So that's another nice option. So the other thing I want to mention, and this is probably the last tip or trick that I'm going to show you, and that is in the settings, notice that I have a list view. This is not the way it comes stock on LG. So to change that, you're just going to go up to these little three buttons and we have tab view. So this is the way it comes normally. So you have our network sound notification display in general. So that's the way it comes on the G6. But you can go ahead and change that if you want up here and change it to list view. And this is just the way I prefer it. This is more of a stock feel. Obviously it's not stock Android, but just kind of a preference that I have. So anyways, just a few tips and tricks that you might be able to use on your LG G6. Let me know what you think. If there's something I'm missing, like maybe there's a tip that you know that I didn't mention in this video, go ahead and tell me in the comment section. I'd love to know if there's any other things that you might know about it that I don't know. That'd be great. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for watching. Thanks for sharing any tips that you might have, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace.